These aren't just waffles, they're mini waffles on a stick. And with 5 million views, I need to try them. Except how am I gonna fit all of this into this? We have a gadget for that. Okay, I'm gonna add my dry ingredients first. Flour, baking powder, and baking soda, some sugar, and some salt. Now we pour in the wet ingredients. I have a little bit of milk, vanilla, a little bit of oil, and I'm gonna throw the whole egg in there. And this pancake pen has this squishy ball in here that's supposed to help me mix everything together. The bottom becomes the top, and then we just shake, shake, shake to make our batter. Actually though, it worked pretty well. Okay, batter up. Now I just fill in these little mini waffle holes. Close her up, and we wait. Lights off, it's ready. Oh, they're so cute. Kind of overflowed, but for the most part, they're perfect. And now we assemble. You guys haven't even seen the best part of this yet. So she starts with a waffle on a stick. Then we add a strawberry, another waffle, a banana, another waffle, and you basically keep going until you have the perfect waffle stick. I feel like my banana to waffle to fruit ratio is a little off. But now it looks like she drizzles either Nutella or chocolate syrup. That looks so good. Final step, we gotta dust it with some powdered sugar. And this right here is a breakfast that's worth waking up for. 10 out of 10. This was good, but we have 9 more most viewed breakfasts, each with millions more views than the last. And now with 5.7 million views, we're not just making your regular overnight oats. No, we're making mango blended overnight oats. So she starts by adding some rolled oats into her blender's cup. Someone said, the thing I hate most about oats is its texture. Next, she adds some fresh mango chunks. Thank you for not putting bananas in it. I'm severely allergic, so I'm always looking for recipes without it. Now she adds some milk, Greek yogurt, a little bit of vanilla extract, maple syrup, and a pinch of salt. Cap it up and blend, baby, blend. Blended oats, ooh, I like the sound of that. Is it textured like yogurt? I mean, it definitely looks like it. A little bit of a chunky yogurt. And then into a cute jar, she adds more mango chunks and pours the oat mixture right on top. Mine looks a little more chunky than hers. I'll fill it almost to the top because we have to make a white chocolate shell. Yes. I'm gonna start with some coconut oil, add some white chocolate, and then we're gonna microwave it for about 30 seconds until it's nice, melty, and thin. I'm gonna pour just enough. It kind of looks like condensed milk a little bit. They don't call it overnight oats for nothing. So into the fridge it goes. And we'll check on it a little later in the video. This is an egg quesadilla with 6.4 million views, and someone said it's like a Mexican pizza, but better. So they start by adding some oil into the pan and then fries up some tomatoes. Adds a little bit of salt and pepper for flavor. And then on the side scrambles an egg, adds it in. My egg didn't quite land right, but I feel like I have to work fast so that the egg on top doesn't set. And then we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. Green onions. Oh, it's setting already. Someone said didn't have green onions, but I added chopped onions and it was so delicious. Hopefully it sticks. And this is the part where someone said, I love these, but it was so hard to flip. Oh man. You know what? I have a hack for this. Ah, yeah. Worked like a charm, except my egg broke. Just have to accept the fact that I am not a good tortilla flipper. Slides it onto our cutting board, and now we slice it up. Let me show you guys the inside. Nice and melty. I feel like some avocado and hot sauce would be so good on this. The tomato is super hot and juicy, so be careful if you try this. Don't burn your mouth. But it's definitely giving me Mexican pizza vibes. 8 out of 10. There was a time in my life where everything was on a board. Butter board, charcuterie board, cookie board. Now we have everything but the bagel board with 10 million views. She starts by spreading a generous amount of cream cheese onto her very large board, but I'm gonna make mine more single serving. Somebody said, does no one use bowls anymore? This feels so wrong. Now she sprinkles on everything but the bagel seasoning. Tops it with some lox or smoked salmon pieces, and people said, that's not enough salmon. Where are all the lox? So I'll go ahead and fill mine with a little bit more. Some capers, green onion, in my case some chives. It actually looks so pretty. And she shaves some red onion right on top. And now she takes her bagel pieces on the side and scoops. I love it, but just put it on a bagel. But then it becomes more of a dip than it does like a spread. You can't ever go wrong with an everything bagel like this. But this is more work than we need. 7 out of 10. But someone said what we're all thinking. Is it just me that immediately thinks that would be so hard to clean later? Well, let me help you with that, because there is such a thing called a chopped bagel. We basically take it one step further, add some sliced cucumber, a little bit more chives, some lemon juice, salt and pepper, and we chop it up. I feel like I'm creating creating more of a mess than cleaning up this board. It's supposed to be so refreshing and the perfect way to enjoy a bagel. And now all we have to do is scoop it on. And that's a chopped bagel. More of what I'm used to. Now with 17 million views, if you like cereal, this is honey butter cereal that someone said is the elite version of Honey Bunches of oats. This is just the cheaper version of cornflakes. But for some reason, he starts by pouring his into a bowl. I'm just gonna keep mine in the bag. And then he cuts and melts some butter into a pan. Then he adds some kind of brownish looking sugar. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna just use turbinado. Pour in some honey, let it bubble a little bit, and then we pour our cereal right in. Someone said, just buy one already made with honey and sugar. Ooh, it's like browning. Ooh, now we have a caramel honey butter. I gotta add a pinch of salt. It's like a caramelized Honey Bunches of oats, and it smells so good. Now I understand why he had that extra bowl, because I need room to mix it. Now we let it cool for a little bit before we transfer it into a smaller cereal bowl. The clusters are more defined, and this is what the creator calls Honey Joy. That's actually amazing. I love that you get a little bit of that caramely bit. It almost reminds me of toffee. Definitely deserves 9 out of 10. Frosted Flakes could never. This next one has 18 million views, and I'm not sure if it's because the recipe is really good or because someone said I fell asleep with my phone on while watching this video ... for 8 hours. Maybe it's both, but we're making scrambled oats. And she starts by dropping a ripe banana into our bowl, mashes it, then she cracks an egg and adds some oats. A 3-ingredient recipe? I love that. But for 8 hours on a 10-second video on loop, how many views would you actually get for that? So it looks like she has grease in the pan, but let's just say she added some butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and melt it and then add in our oat mixture. She shapes it like a pancake and tries to flip it over. Someone called her out and said, why did I feel like she meant to make it a pancake, but then decided it turned bad, so made up scrambled oats? She did say introducing, but also calls it kind of like soft granola. But someone else also said, it's so good, but takes so long to cook. It smells sweet, but then I see chunks of scrambled eggs right here and I'm confused. But now she adds it to a bowl with yogurt and then tops it with some berries. Okay, I'm gonna try it with a little bit of everything. See, look at that chunk of scrambled egg right there. You mostly taste the texture of the oats, not so much the egg. A little hint of banana in there. It's actually not bad. It's exactly how she described it, like soft granola. 8 out of 10. It's the next day and our chocolate shell has hardened. But now I need to crack it. Oh, what? Oh, it's not cracking. Oh, is this dessert or breakfast? That would be a fun way to wake up in the morning for sure. I would say compared to normal overnight oats, the texture is a little more gummy because the oatmeal was blended. The flavor is on point and I feel like I'm having dessert for breakfast. 9 out of 10. If scrambled oats aren't your jam, maybe I can interest you in a chocolate oatmeal breakfast cookie. This one has 23.6 million views and she starts by adding oats, mashed bananas, wait, no eggs? She continues to add some baking powder, some protein powder, coconut oil, cinnamon, and some milk. Now she mashes everything with a fork. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my spatula. It's way easier to work with this way. But now she adds it into her air fryer basket with parchment paper, smashes it down like a burger, and then studs it with some chocolate chips. That is one giant cookie. Now, because this is called a 10-minute air fryer breakfast cookie, somebody said, bold of you to assume I have 10 minutes. Somebody else said 10 minutes to cook this was too long. And somebody else said, just tried this for 8 minutes at 350 and it's basically a charcoal briquette. We'll do 4 next time. I'm gonna check on it at 4 minutes. It's been 4 minutes and it's looking very golden brown on top. And apparently this is a cookie that you eat with a fork. Ooh. Definitely got the crispy texture on the outside and it's looking to be a little bit soft and gooey on the inside. I'm actually super surprised. That was really good. And it really does look like one of those giant bakery cookies. 9 out of 10. Now with 26 million views, we have what they call a mini pancake chocolate chip sandwich. So let's start by making the pancake batter. To my bowl, I'm gonna add some flour, sugar, baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Okay, now for the wet ingredients, I already have some milk. We're just gonna add some oil, an egg, and vanilla, and mix it all up. This is very similar to our waffle batter, except I can't use the pen because we're adding mini chocolate chips. But somebody said I did half the batch with chocolate chips and the other half with none. In my opinion, no chocolate chip is better. Well, Too late for that. But now let's cook it up. It doesn't look like he or she greased the pan too much, but I can't make pancakes without at least buttering the pan. Now we're just gonna make tiny little silver dollar pancakes. Making them perfectly round, kind of a skill. Now I understand why he used a fork to flip it. Whoa. Ta-da! Now they pipe on the chocolate filling onto each pancake and makes a little sandwich. I feel like a spoon does the job for me. Someone said they look so dry. Bite, drink of water, bite. But our drippy sauce might help. Not bad, but for that much work, I'd rather just make my waffle on a stick. 6 out of 10. And now with 52 million views, this might be the most beautiful avocado toast. And we're gonna romanticize our breakfast by cutting the most perfect avocado. And to get that nice outer layer, I'm gonna have to peel mine. It appears that mine is not as perfect as that one, but... Okay, well, it looks like that's the best I can do, but now he makes perfect little slices. Ooh, my knife just kind of glides down. And then we just kind of push it to the side to fan it out. Now he toasts up his bread in a pan slathered with olive oil. And then this is where it gets interesting. He places the piece of bread onto his cake spinner, gently lifts up the avocado, and some people said, I'll take an avocado with the side of bread. And now, like a DJ, he spins his avocado while scratching the surface with a little bit of hot sauce. Looked pretty good until you ruined it with nasty sriracha. Now he sprinkles it with some fancy salt, cross hatches the avocado with some chives, and then a nice shaving of lemon zest right on top. Avocado toast is serious business, you know? Now this looks pretty good for 52 million views, but if you wanted the most viewed breakfast in this video, all he had to do was add some eggs on top to get 62 million views. She basically makes the avocado toast the same way, except for the egg, she hard boils it, peels it, and then separates the yolks from the whites. People were flabbergasted why she separated the egg whites from the egg yolks. She then chops up the egg whites, and then for the egg yolk, she adds in mayo, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, a little bit of lemon juice, and some oil. But I guess it just helps makes the sauce creamier. Then she adds the egg whites back in, mixes it up, and finally loads up her avocado toast with the eggs on top. People were so mad. Why the egg is on top? It's obviously supposed to be spread on the bread and add the avocado on top, in caps. Someone else said, yeah, because eggs ain't mushy enough, we need some avocado. I know this just tasted so good. Maybe since I combined both of theirs, maybe my version will be 72 million on TikTok. That's another 10 out of 10. But if you like this video, go watch me test TikTok's most viewed dessert recipes.